Yes, welcome once again to Smart Agro Innovation, your channel that is developing agriculture through simple technologies. Wherever we are today, we try as much as possible to let our subscribers and our viewers to know that indeed there are certain basic things that we need to know if you want to go into farming, especially in snails. If you work on plantains, different variety of numerous videos on our platforms. Today we are talking about snails. In fact, the differences between the Achatina Achatina giant African type snail, that is this, and then the Achatina Marginata. And in our typical Ghanaian language, typical Akan language, we call this Pobri. That is the name in typical Ghanaian Akan language, Pobri. In Sashi, we call it Kisi. We call it Kisi. And then in Akan, we call it Pobri. And in Akan again, we call this one the Nwapa. That is the Achatina Achatina variety or species. You can see that these are all snails. Both of them are snails, but there are vast differences. Today we are going to take our time to let you understand the differences between the two, and even our system, the commercial value, their eggs, their mode of feeding, their behavior shall be explained vividly for you to understand. Then we move on to the eggs. You can see that there are more eggs, small eggs, tiny eggs, but there is one particular big egg. Which snail type, this and this, which one is producing this? We don't know. Through Smart Agro, we'll take you through. Now, before we continue, let's look at the morphological differences between the two. This is a West African. I think you can see it well. Let me wash it so you can see it clearly. And then we have this one too. Wash it nicely so you can see it clearly. Alright, so we are good to go. This is Nwapa, or the Achatina Achatina species. If you look at the shells, a little bit brownish, in fact nice design, and you can see it's excited because of the water that I'm using to wash it. It's excited because it's cooling down temperature. So this is how the Achatina Achatina species of snail look like. Achatina Achatina. This ring with the shells rolling. In fact, it's very nice. Now, this is the Achatina Achatina. That is the Pobri, or in Akan language. Let's look at the differences here. If you look at the tip, you can see that this one is a little bit pink. It's pink, pinkish color. Yeah, that is the Pobri or the Achatina Marginata. A little bit pink. The skin or the shell is quite green. The shell is green as compared to the Achatina Achatina. This is also the tip. You can see that the differences is clear. This one is pink, this is not. Now, if you look at the design on the shell, it's also different from this green design. So this is one difference. I think there is another one here. wash it. This is also the Achatina Achatina. So because this is quite older, this is also Achatina Achatina. Sorry, Achatina. Yeah, Achatina Achatina. The Wapa, typical sub-Saharan African snail. And now let's look at other differences. If you look at this, if you look at the surface, this one is purely black and white strips. This is how the surface area of the fleshy part, the growing part, the body looks like. This is the Achatina Achatina. Let's look at the Achatina Marginata. You can see that comparatively, this is quite darker. It has a dark surface as compared to the black and white surface. Yeah, so you see the surface and you see the surface of this. Now let's look at the toughness of their flesh. If you look at this, you can see that it quite, if you touch it as if it is insulated, it is very tough. But if you compare to this, this is very soft, a bit softer than this. So these are the differences between Achatina Achatina species of snail and the Achatina Marginata. Now if we move to the forest, these two, these particular ones are not common. Why are they not common? We will still show you. Now let's move on to the eggs. This is the eggs of the two. What happens is that Achatina Achatina will give you this particular snail, a lot of them, a lot of them, a lot of them. This one will lay this egg, but this particular one will also lay an egg. But the eggs of Achatina Marginata is a little bit bigger in size. This is the eggs of this. It's big in size as compared to this. These are smaller in size. These are the eggs differences. And this is the egg of this particular snail species. This doesn't lay much eggs. It can lay even 5 or 10. But this one can give you 200 plus. So these ones are not common. Even in the forest, these ones are not common at all because they lay few eggs. You can see their egg is also bigger in size as compared to this. Yeah, so that is how it is. But in our African environment, this particular one doesn't have commercial value, and there are certain religious or religions myth against this particular species, so they do not consume it. Not all people consume this, but this one is common in Ghana. So in a nutshell, these are the differences between Achatina Achatina and Achatina Marginata species of snails.